Hey everybody, welcome back. Second Eric here. Figured I'd do a vinyl update this week. Got plenty of titles to share, and I probably do have more to share down the road. Might be my next update. We shall see. I got 3 records I picked up locally. I'm still kind of absorbing a couple of them, so just want to get my thoughts all together before I start sharing them. All of these are online pickups. Well, they're all originals except for one, which is basically brand new release. And I've shared most of these on the live streams a couple weeks ago, but not all of them. Have I shown most of these? Well, I guess just one of these I've only shared, but I wanted to clarify, or I just totally forgot to, I spaced this whole bit of trivia off of this album. So I talked about Alias Boona by John Boylan a few videos back, and I totally forgot to skip the part and mention, I figured out the reason why it's so collectible these days, or just, it's getting a little more listeners involved, is because of the collaboration with Walter Becker and Don Fagen of Steely Dan. So this is like their, I believe it is their first studio recording anywhere. I don't think they had done anything like Steely Dan demos at this point, but 1969, I guess a lot of people made the connections, and he had went to school with the two. I forget, somewhere on the East Coast, but yeah, just wanted to mention that. I totally spaced it off last time, or the last 2 times I made videos, but yeah, ready to dive into these. So lots of info here, and I think one of these I just have not spun yet because I got it in the mail today, but I think I'm ready to talk about it. So this first one though, I picked this one up online. Didn't pick it up initially when it first came out. I'm kind of like that with some of these Gearson releases, but finally picked up on some Heavy Rain. This is originally a acetate back in 1973. And they are a UK-based band. I'll get a shot of the hype sticker here before I put it away. You guys kind of get an idea of what it sounds like. So, someone had uploaded a full album to YouTube, some channel, and it's a little rough sounding, the original acetate, but Gearson, being Gearson, they cleaned it up pretty well and definitely boosted all the different frequencies and kind of patched things together, making it sound a little more crisp the best they could. So yeah, acetate back in '73, and just never got picked up on any major labels or anything, but they're most famous for touring or doing a concert with Pink Fairies and Hawkwind. Imagine what that night sounded like. It's got to be bonkers, but comes with a lyric insert talking about it, and it's even got the flyer there. Played in Glasgow. I think it had seated like 5,000 attendees that night. So pretty wild, but yeah, the sounds within, man, this intrigued me so much I had to pick up a copy. And usually releases such as this, sometimes the hype can be pretty warranted, it's not always a guarantee, but their name stands to show, man. This is very heavy, very sludgy, very much low end kind of fuzz assault on that guitar, man. And I think at this point, because it does show like 5 members on the cover, but during these recordings they formed into a trio. I guess they had lost a couple members by this point. And it is a power trio sludge fest, man. It's very good. You got some nice fuzz wah on the solo breaks, and like I said, that low end kind of crispy fuzz tone, very much like inspired by Sabbath and early UFO, amongst all those bands at that time. And they were mostly known for doing original writings, but they'd done a couple covers on here. Yardbird's Lost Woman, do a pretty respectful job of that, but the killer track on here is the closing track, Rising of the Tide, but then they kind of fall into this continuous jam, and they flow into Set the Controls for the Heart of the Sun by Pink Floyd. They do a tremendous version of that, very much more heavy, spaced out, and lots of delay effects on that one as well, so it's definitely worth checking into. Even if you are a little skeptical of, if you're not into the heavy thing, this is through and through just an amazing discovery here from Gearson. So very happy to track this one down, and looks like copies are already kind of selling out on Discogs, at least in the US. So did pay up a little bit. I mean, it's the going price, but I don't like these reissue prices, man. I really don't. So I did the whole cheating scheme of doing the pay in 4 with PayPal, because it's the way I like to operate with some of those releases sometimes. So this next one here, this is one I've been trying to track down for literally years, probably since like, mid 2010s. And I just always had a hard time, or a more difficult time, finding like the right sleeve and the right disc. Just never matched up, and the price as well just never matched up for me. And it's kind of funny timing, because Dom, Seeking a Thread, his latest video, he had mentioned he had played this on his radio show, which I have not listened to yet, but I plan to. I get a lot of listening in at work, so it's a good opportunity. But finally found this one on eBay of all places, and I made an offer and he accepted. So picked up on some Bruce Palmer. The Cycle is Complete. This is on the Verve Forecast label. And oftentimes the issue was the cover, but this one I can kind of live with. The ringware with this record is just always attracts it, and it was just always very difficult for me to find just a decent copy. And thankfully this is pretty good. This one passes for me, but love that gatefold, the whole mirrored image. And then Mr. Palmer just almost like meditating and just kind of setting up his whole bohemian structure to these songs. But yeah, I really love this one, man. This is very much a free-flowing kind of progressive folk psych kind of experiment. And if you guys don't know, Bruce Palmer is of Buffalo Springfield fame. Basically 3 tracks in here, excluding the interlude. But it's just a whole journey of just mostly, I think there's some like violin, and I hadn't heard it in a while, but I just remember wanting to seek this one out for a long time. And mostly instrumental, some vocal passage, I think on the first track at least. Kind of doing some rambling, very much in a spiritual light. And it's very, very spiritual record, but the last track I always remember being my favorite, Calm Before the Storm. If I remember correctly, it's got some nice, like, kind of mysterious mellotron, kind of permeating the mix, and, sort of just taking you into this kind of like, just this mysterious kind of jungle-like vibe. At least that's what I get, the images in my head. It's like, kind of like sunrise. I always think of like sunrise, kind of climbing out of the forest or in the trees. And just what a cool album design overall. But yeah, typically for 40 bucks you can find this one, but like I said, the condition's always kind of iffy. But man, finally glad I crossed this one off. So hadn't played this yet, but this looks very nice. Very nice disc. Might have to replace the sleeve, but just really glad he accepted my offer. Kind of made a lowball offer, but yeah, Bruce Palmer, man, check her out. It's really good. This next one, I just have only gave this one spin so far. This is also one I picked up, got over the weekend in the mail. And condition-wise, I thought it was going to be a little better than this, but the images online on this website I bought it from, and considering the condition they listed it as, it doesn't really match in my book. But this is A Breath of Fresh Air by Fresh Air, and this is on the Amaret label, which brought us a lot of albums by Crow and Randy Johnson. A Gift from Randy Johnson. It's one I'm really looking for. Missed a lot of bids on that record, but this is one that I wasn't really highly seeking out, but my buddy Alex tipped me off to this one. And hey, as you can see, the whole thing's split on top, and cover's kind of falling apart, and definitely has some age wear on the back. But you know, don't really care too much about that, but you know, the disc looks pretty good visually, but it's one of those cases where, you know, I put it on the table and, you know, it looks pretty clean, right? Got a nice sheen to it, but yeah, some tracks do have some surface noise on my favorite tracks. It's tolerable, but I just wish it turned out a little better, because I think they listed this as either VG or VG plus, and it does not match that for me. It's G plus, you know, audibly, in my opinion. I mean, like, it plays through, but you know, it's got some softer moments, and there's definitely some crackling going on. But a little disappointed there, but for the price I got this at, it's definitely not the going rate, which anymore I think it's climbing up towards $100, which, it's a little steep for this kind of music. But so this one for me, I don't necessarily love it, but it's growing on me for sure. It's kind of a very typical prog, or not prog, maybe hints of prog in here, but mostly Hammond organ, guitar interplay. I would say very East Coast inspired, but these guys are from the West Coast. But it's got kind of that glass prism, sort of, you know, that album Child on Jubilee. You know, it's got that very heavy organ sound, but, you know, some great guitar breaks on here. There's also a moment of like some flute on Sailor Man. The only weak spot really for most people, and including me, I'm kind of on the fence about it, is the track For What It's Worth. Do the Buffalo Springfield track. I mean, what a song to cover, right? And especially at 1970, by the time this came out, it's kind of like, the version they do is kind of more of like a Three Dog Night inspired kind of psych soul track, but it just doesn't really land for me. It's too energetic, too happy, you know, considering what the song is really, the message behind it. So it doesn't work for me, but the rest after that thankfully picks up. Probably my favorite highlights: December, Faces in the Fire, Getaway, Car, I've Lost My Faith. There is a bit of like a Christian theme moving about here lyrically, but doesn't distract at all. Overall, very average, but still good. Not first rate, but definitely worth a listen. Definitely some nice kind of like jams here. I'm definitely going to be DJing this perhaps this Wednesday, so definitely some DJable moments on here. Nice danceable tunes, and it's a DJ copy, white label. So like I said, not going to complain too much for the price. Yeah, it could have been a little better graded. And then I got two more here, and these are on the cheaper end. So this is one I have not spun yet, actually. I streamed it maybe 3 times. I very vaguely remember it was kind of a longer record from what I could tell than, you know, your typical 40 minutes. But this is John Congo's Confusions About a Goldfish. Kind of a goofy cover, but yeah, this is a singer-songwriter LP. He was born in South Africa, Johannesburg, I believe. Marilyn Monroe on the back. I don't know what that's about, but I believe this is like maybe all the lyrics to the tracks, at least the title track on here. But yeah, it was released on Janus Records, and this also came out in the UK on the Dawn label. So another white label promo. When I first streamed this, I was like, it's probably like a $50 LP, and to my surprise, on average, this probably goes for about $5 on average, which is really budget friendly for me at this time. But yeah, I was kind of surprised too, because I bought this from a local seller, had no idea I bought it from a guy that I know that's local, so it arrived really fast. But yeah, Congos, he had another record after this on Elektra, and it was on, again, various labels too, not just Elektra, but yeah, it's very much like a Baroque folk kind of record. It kind of leans into just a variety of like different pop styles, but very, you know, consumable, nothing over the top or anything. Pretty straight ahead from what I recall, but very enjoyable. I was really enjoying this at work, but like I said, got to spin this again. Hadn't listened to it since last week, so it's about all I can say about this right now. But yeah, Another nice cheapie. And then again, another Alex recommendation. He had messaged me on Messenger and was saying, better pick this up. And I got this under overall about $5 total online, and this is the Stevenson's Hanging Around. It's like a private press sort of thing, or low budget sort of record. Haven't really been buying too many of these type of records lately. I mean, the whole private press thing, I'm maybe just a tad bit burned out on it. Trying to expand, you know, trying to go into those imports like I mentioned earlier, but I've only listened to a few tracks. I think I just only listened to the originals because there are a lot of covers on here. They do Danny's song, Kenny Loggins' track, and Rock Me Gently by Andy Kim. Kind of seems kind of funny for this duo, but there's one big standout though, and I'm glad he had brought this to my attention. The track Happiness. It's kind of got a lot of phasing effects, nice harmonies, and it's very much like a kind of a folk psych track. Nice rhythm, nice easygoing soft rock kind of rhythm, but yeah, nice phasing effects. I'll needle drop it sometime, you know, down the road perhaps on a live stream or something, but yeah, pretty good. Like I said, I gotta kind of revisit this one as well, but and the title track too, Hanging Around, I remember being decent. You know, it's kind of got this kind of rural outlaw country kind of vocal, but it's definitely listenable compared to most. Controversial take there, but that's all I got to share for right now. Like I said, I got 3 records waiting for me. I could talk about one, but like I said, I like you know, making the theme of these videos kind of consistent with online separating from local finds and vice versa. I do have one coming in the mail. Don't know when it's due to arrive, but I just picked it up over the weekend. The weather is getting nicer here, so I didn't even have to wear a jacket outside almost, but as the sun is falling, it's probably going to be a little cooler, but really enjoy those 40-degree winter days. So got some things coming up. I'm going to be doing open mic again this Wednesday, and I'm going to hopefully jam with my college buddy. Hopefully I get some footage of that. My DJ set. The bar's back open, so really enjoying my time back there. And yeah, I'm making some music on the side as well for my, you know, fictitious record, Astral Yacht Part 3. And it's turning out nice, actually. Well, as you guys know, I did hint towards that on one of my live streams. I was showing you guys what I'm making creatively. So take care, enjoy the tunes, be safe, have fun, be logical, and we will see you soon.